All right, guys, so this is the sample final exam paper. As you can see, it's available on Moodle, and you can see the instructions. There's two sections, part A and part B, and some first questions from part A and 2 out of 3 questions from part B. Now, I've got you to read the questions from part B. So what I want to ask you guys, what do you notice about part B? What do you notice about these questions? What do you notice?
Sir, these are theory questions like we need to write.
The most of the part related to our assignment.
Okay, so you're saying they're related to your assignment. Okay. Did someone say it's a theory question?
Yes, sir. We do, sir.
Well, do you reckon these are theory questions? So are you going to get a mark if you cite the theory? Is that what you seem to you?
Don't think so.
Don't think so. I don't give you theory question. This is more, if you're going to go and remember the theory and try to go and apply the theory by just memorizing, you will fail these questions. It's a postgraduate level subject. You are expected to demonstrate a higher level competency in terms of what we call the Bloom's taxonomy. I'm asking you to recite anything. I'm saying discuss with an example the importance of ethics in managing information technology projects. There's no theory there. There's no place that's going to tell you, give you an example. You know, it's about giving me practical information that you think about, you thought about, not theory. Discuss which project management methodology is better, Pinbook or Agile. This is not theory. It's just really which one is better. So theory about Pinbook tell you this, theory about Agile tell you this, but if you cite the theory, you get no marks. I'm asking you, discuss which one is better. It's a discussion question. And that's totally different from simply going and obviously going and doing a citing of the theory. That's not what I'm asking you to do, so be very clear on that. The control of project is important for project management. Identify 2 of the tools that project managers can use to control project and discuss their impact. Again, there's no theory. You know, what are the tools? Tell me, explain, speak to me about it. Tell me how they're going to affect the project. So it's not about a theory. It's about application of whatever you've learned. And be careful, you don't simply go and cite the theory for me. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So do not learn and study theory, you know, question by question. That is not what you're expected to do. So I'll be very, very clear on that. Now let's go up and let's read this question. Read it for a sec.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Then can you just give us an idea like how we need to explain?
Well, if I was to go and talk, for example, about the tool, what tool could you tell me about that project managers could use?
Okay, so we just need to give examples like.
Tell me about a tool. Tell me about a tool. Which tool do you reckon project managers can use to control projects?
Either MS
They
project
can use a
or
Trello and MS project.
Okay, MS project. Okay, that's fine. What is the impact of MS project? What's the impact? What can it do? What does it do for you? What does it allow you to do? How does Microsoft Project allow you to control your project?
Through scheduling. Scheduling,
create the whole plan, monitoring the plan, monitoring resources, monitoring the costs. You get a budget, you can track the network diagram. You see all of these things? There's so many things you can do. For example, we go and create the plan from the beginning till the end. We create every stage of that, and then we'll be able to go and save a project plan baseline. We'll be able to monitor, are we progressing well towards the baseline? Are we over, are we on time? Are we ahead of schedule or not? Are we behind cost, so over budget or not? You start talking about all of this information. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Did I answer your question, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's read this question. Now let me ask you, what do you see about these questions? Have you seen any questions like them before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you get a lot of practice for them? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
now the only thing you need to think about this question is the lag, which means activity C cannot start until 2 days after B. That's what the lag means. Means C starts 2 days after B is finished. Now let's go and look about this other question. Let's look at this. So what do you notice about this question? Have you seen a table like that before?
Yeah, we have done this kind of problems.
Okay, so let me go and share with you something else. Have you seen this formula? Can you see it? I won't be giving you this formula in the classroom, in the actual exam. It's actually very easy one to remember. So basically what it helps you to calculate the slope, which is the cost per period you're going to go and reduce your cost or your duration. How many periods can we reduce? Well, for A, normal time is 3, crash time is 2, which means 3 minus 2, we can reduce it by 1 time. How much is the cost? Crash cost, this one here, 70, minus normal cost, minus 50, that's 20, divided by normal time minus crash time. Normal time is 3, crash time is 2, so that's, 20 divided by 1, and that's obviously it's going to be 20. So the cost for this one is 20. So this is really what we've done, I think, in lecture 6. It's really same information. So for this exercise, you will simply need to go and make sure you calculate. You need to make sure you calculate that information here. You'll need to make sure you draw the network diagram. You need to make sure you calculate the slope and how much is the actual cost every time you crash, and then you start calculating everything else. Now, what I want you to do is we won't have time to do all of these things, and you won't be getting the responses for all of these questions. So if you want to get answers, you need to attempt them. Why? Well, because you need to be able to do this yourself, and you need to be able to, there's no standard answer I can give you. I'm not asking you to recall any information. I'm actually asking you to go and get to a higher level of thinking. I'm asking for examples. I'm not going to put something that you're going to go and rehearse. I want you to go and provide your own answers, and you think about those answers by showing me examples, showing me practice, and answering things in details. For this section, I expect your answers to be between 1 and 2 pages. So provide details. There's only 4 questions you're answering in the actual exam, 2 out of 3 from this part. So you need to provide in detailed answers. Now, I'm going to allow you to start working on this question, and I will give you some answer potentially later, but I'm going to give you around 20 minutes. I want you to start working on this question now. So please start working on it, and then in 20 minutes, we're going to start talking about the answers. Please start working, have a go, and let me know if you have any questions. So I told you to go and have a look at this question, and you've had a look at it. So the only thing we need to bear in mind is activity C cannot start straight away after B. It has to actually have a delay of 2 days. So that's what we need to go and think about. If you go and have a look here on this solution, you'll be able to see the network diagram. So that's the network diagram, guys, for this specific question. You notice that everything is very straightforward how we do things. The only difference is between B and C, there's an extra lag of 2 days, which means when B finishes after 3 days, C cannot start after 3 days. It have to delay by 2 days. So that's 3 plus 2 equals 5 days. Everything else is the same as we have basically explained into so many various calculation exercises. You need to calculate the critical path. You know how to calculate it. Later start minus early start give you the slack. If there's 0, that means that's an activity that is on a critical path. In this example here, you know, many activities are on a critical path except D, which have a slack of 2 days, which is later start minus early start. 4 minus 2 is 2 days. And G, which is later start minus early start, which is 8 minus 7, equal 1 day. The second question is, you know, show the slack times for the critical path. Well, I've already told you how you do it. For the critical path, there's no slack. Critical path means an activity where you cannot delay any item. Otherwise, if you delay it, it's going to be delaying the delivery of your project. So that's something to go and bear in mind. Now, they ask you the third question is, what will the impact on the project if the market appeal testing is delayed by 1 day? Well, we know that G, which is the activity they're telling us about, we know that it has a slack of 1 day, which is 8 minus 7, equal 1. So if G was delayed by 1 day, nothing's going to happen. Why? Because we can delay G by 1 day without delaying the end of the project. Why? Because if I delay G from 8 to 9, 9 here, 9 there, the project will still have the early start of 9 and the early finish of 11. So nothing really changed. But if the project goes and if activity G is delayed by 3 days, that means instead of 8, I have to put 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, if there's 11 here and if there's 9 here, the early start of the next activity won't be 9 because it's going to be 11, which is the largest. So that becomes 11. 11 plus 2 equals 13. So that's basically what we go and do. So the duration of the project will delay to 13 days if that is actually going to actually happen. So this is really here, you see the answers for all of these questions. Now, as I also told you, we spoke about this question here, and I told you, you know, there's obviously answers will differ, so no one's going to give the same answer because it's not just a straight theory question, it's about application. And if I ask you about this, guys, I showed you earlier for this question, I showed you this formula. So take a picture of this formula very quickly because I want you to calculate some information relating to the next question. At least I'll give you the heads up so that you can start it and then you can continue it later. So take a screenshot, especially for this formula, which won't be given in the exam. That's something you need to know. It's a very, very simple formula. Now I'm going to move to this other file now. So let's move to this file. I want you to go and I want you to tell me what is the slope, which is how much is it going to cost me every time I'm going to crash an activity. Now let me ask you first question. The normal time for activity A is 4 days. The crash time is 2 days. So how many periods can I crash A by? How many times can I crash A?
2 times.
2 times. Okay. Now you need to calculate the slope, which is how much is it going to cost me every time I'm going to crash it. I just showed you the formula. I want you to go and use that formula to calculate the slope for every one of these activities from A all the way to G. So I'll give you 4 minutes for this activity. Please calculate it now. All right, guys, so let's just go and look. So activity A, you said you can delay it by 2 days. Can you tell me how much is it going to cost me every time I'm going to go and delay it?
20.
How many days? How much is it going to cost me every time I'm going to delay it? 20, that's correct. Okay. I'm going to now ask Alina. Alina?
Yes, sir.
Activity B, how many times can I delay it?
40.
How many times can I delay it?
40 times.
No, 40 is the actual cost, but how many times?
Cost.
Well,
So
the
it's a
normal
cost.
time, the normal time is 6. The crash time is 4. 6 minus 4 is only 2 days I can crash it.
Yes, 2 then.
Now the crash cost is 40. You're correct. Amandeep.
Over.
Amandeep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about the third one. Okay. So how many durations can I actually crash activity C?
So 2 days.
2 days. And how much is it going to cost me every time?
30.
30, that's correct. I'm going to go to Deepa.
Yes, sir.
How many times can I crash activity D?
So 4 days,
D is 4 days. And what's the cost?
25.
25, that's correct. I'm going to go now to Shashank. All right, Shashank is not live. Okay, can I go to Regina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Regina, could you please tell me how many times can I crash activity E?
Time
What's the cost?
30.
30. Samita,
Yes, sir.
how many times can I crash F?
1 time,
What's the cost?
30.
And I'm going to finish with Nikki. Nikki? Nikki? Okay, let me go to Arjun. Arjun? Can you hear me, Arjun? All right, Abhishek? Okay, Regina?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me activity G, how many times can I delay it?
2 times.
And
2
what's the
times,
cost?
40.
40. Okay, so that information, how many times you can crash it, and what's the cost every time you're going to crash it, that's important information that will help you to go and calculate everything else you want to calculate. You also need to use this graph in this example to make a drawing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So one other thing you need to do is you need to go and make sure you go and draw the network diagram so that you can see on every pass how much is the duration per path, and then you decide which one of the activities is the cheapest for you guys to go and reduce. Eventually, you'll go and use all of this information because you'll have a direct cost plus indirect cost, and that will give you the total cost, and that will give you, when you combine indirect costs together, that will give you the ideal duration for you to go and finish your project based on the cost that you will be saving when you combine direct and indirect costs. And then you can draw it graphically. That's a very simple thing to do. That's all what I'm going to go and tell you about the final exam, but I'll share some other information very shortly. So let's just start playing this video about the future. Please, you know, take that into consideration what I'm going to tell you. It's very, very important for me to send this final message to all of you. It's going to start with this video, so let's give it a go.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever. The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. You gotta protect it. You can't do something themselves. I tell you, you can. You want something, go get it. Don't be afraid to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. You have to believe that something different can happen. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people. Make a choice, right? Just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why? Why can't I do that? What did you say to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good at writing because you have never written before. It's not natural. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of being on your craft. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. Now, if you know what you want, then go out and get what you want. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point the finger and say, wait, when you want to be the leader or hurt anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now, I'm going to show you how great I am. The kingdom of God is within man. Not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men, in you, the people have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Now, what are you going to do?
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
All right, guys, so this is basically getting us towards the end of the session. It's very important that I play that for you because I want to tell you, and you probably don't recognize that, but you are currently on the holiday stage of your life. You don't have many responsibilities, you don't have a family, you don't have a car, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have any of these things. So it is, still the easy part in life, really. You will get a lot of difficult times in your life, and it's about every time you get hit, I want you to remember that, where do you want to be? Don't give up ever on your dream. Don't give up ever on what you want to be able to go and achieve. Trust in yourself. I trust in you, and I want you to trust in yourself and in your ability to go and achieve great things. I want to communicate a few things before I let you go. And the first one is our relationship could finish today, but does not have to. If anybody would like to stay in touch, you can contact me on my personal email and on my LinkedIn, fadikotob@hotmail.com. And for this one thing, to provide feedback, I always appreciate feedback. I always want to listen to my students, learn what we can improve so that we can actually ensure, you benefit and we make it beneficial, not simply to you, but to everybody in the future, give them great education. You can provide feedback if you want via LinkedIn recommendations. You can provide feedback via email, whatever you basically avenues, but you can also contact me if you have any question about providing feedback. I'll be very happy to go and guide you. I want you to know something very simple. I'm very proud of every one of you. I don't look at a mark to be proud of my students. I am proud of my students all the time, regardless of whatever mark that is available. I want you to study well for the final exam. And I gave you today some information, guidance about what sort of things, or formats at least, about you'll be expecting. I want you to contact me if you have any questions about the exam for me to actually assist you. And I need you to celebrate success. Life is not simply about work, work, work. It's also about enjoying yourself, celebrating success. So please make sure you spend the time to say, well done on me. I've just done a great job. I'm going to go and have a party. I'm going to do whatever. Like, I'm not saying don't party, but just, make sure, there's a time for everything. I'll tell you 3 principles to be successful in your life. Work hard every single day. Do not love sleep more than you want to actually go and achieve success. Work hard, even if that means you're going to minimize your sleep for some reason to be able to get to an outcome. Do whatever you do with passion. I try to give all my passion to you to try to make you feel how much I care about you. I try to push you to reach your full potential because I care about your success. So show passion to the things you do, and that basically will get recognized in your career. And show care to the people around you, because if you show care, the people around you will care for you in return. And these are the 3 principles I encourage you to go and adopt if you want to go and achieve success in your life. I want you to know something really, really important, which is your ability to achieve is as limited as how much you can imagine. There'll be so many people along the way who can tell you they cannot do this. Why are you doing this? Do you think you're better than everybody else? They will tell you that. They will tell you you can't achieve success. And I want you to tell them, my lecturer told me one day that my ability to achieve is as limited as how much I can imagine. And I trust him. He was a decent man. He was a good man. He tried to help me, and I'm going to believe him. And I will not ever let you disregard and put me down and make me think that I'm not good enough. I am more than good enough. I can actually achieve great things. I can imagine, I can dream, I can work hard, I can work with passion, I can work with scare, and I can achieve the success that I deserve to go and actually achieve. I want to thank you very much for being good students, working hard in the course. I really, really enjoyed having you as my cohort. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed your dedication. I enjoyed your work. I enjoyed you doing your best every single day. And every time I tried to increase your bar, you kept on working hard, and that was excellent to see. Remember that I'm here to support you and to help you. So contact me whenever you need help, because I do care about you guys. And from all my heart, I wish you great success in the exam, great success in the degree, and most importantly, great success in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our subject. I really, really enjoyed having you in my class. Thank you very much for your time. Now you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
I
sir.
just want to say something.
Tell me.
Yeah, you're such a genuine and hardworking teacher. During the entire course, I met 2 teachers previously, but now you are my next favorite teacher. So you did just I can't explain. You did a lot of hard work for us. So really, really appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome, Amandeep. Thank you very much for your feedback. I always appreciate the feedback, and I want to give you something. I give it from my heart, because it's all about you guys. It's all about the future, and it's all about you guys believing in yourself. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to go and have a great future. Success awaits, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
I'll miss you. See ya.
Yeah, we will do miss you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.